Hey, how's it going everyone? Today we're going to be ranking every single set in LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed. Now typically I will do some kind of graphic for these ranking tier videos, but this time I have not done that because it doesn't really make sense to rank the sets in that same kind of format with like a platinum, diamond, gold tier, that type of thing, because sets are very specific to their tags. Like the best pirate set in the game is going to be terrible for castle characters and vice versa. So instead what I'm going to do is go through each faction one by one and rank the sets within each faction. Kind of talk about the best ones, the worst ones, and the ones that are in the middle, and also talking about why and which ones even have some really good potential for the future. So let's start right here with the pirate faction. There are three different choices for pirates. You have the Eldorado Fortress, the Forbidden Island, and the Raft Raiders set. The Eldorado Fortress is focused on Imperials, the Forbidden Island is focused on Buccaneers, and the Raft Raiders works with either. The best of these three is the Forbidden Island set, the worst one is the Eldorado Fortress, and the one I would put in the middle is the Raft Raiders set. Now, the Eldorado Fortress set is not the worst one in the game. These abilities actually look pretty interesting. However, the supporting cast of characters of Imperials is pretty poor right now. Even if you do happen to have a maxed Governor and a maxed Lee, Imperials are still going to be a million times worse than a really strong Buccaneer team. And it's going to take you a long time to get those two Imperials maxed unless you are spending money. And Admiral Nonsuch has not even been released in the game, and he looks like he's going to eventually be a core part of the Imperial team. So right now this is just not a very feasible set to use, and the other thing is this uses tier 2 set tools right out of the gate for the first ability upgrades. Look at that, these two are both 45 tier 2 set tools just to take to level 2, and you can't even upgrade the third ability until you're at 4 stars, and you can only get stars through Brickspedition. So overall, this is just not a good set to invest in, and you're not going to get really any return at all for your investment. The Forbidden Island set, on the other hand, is easily the best set for pirates in the entire game, and if you can get the first, third, and fourth ability maxed on this set, you will be absolutely destroying your enemies, especially because of this first ability right here, which will give a 20% increase to both pirates and Buccaneers. And that will count twice for Buccaneers. So like Redbeard, if I recall correctly, will get a 40% attack boost since he has both tags. And if you've ever used Redbeard, you know just how much he does attack in a battle, especially if you have some of these other abilities max, like this one right here, that'll give him a chance to do a bonus attack whenever he damages a foe. So he's just going to be doing a lot of attacks and a lot more damage because of that first ability, and overall pirates just really shine with this set. It also has some nice debuff synergy and also can inflict some time bombs, which currently aren't the most amazing thing in the game, so that's not really what makes this set good, but that is a nice addition nonetheless. The Raft Raider set is probably the best set in the game in terms of how much you need to invest to get a solid set out of it. You really just need to upgrade this first ability twice to level 3, and then you'll really be set. You don't even need to upgrade the first or the second or third ability at all. You can leave these at level 1. I upgraded this one to level 2, but that doesn't really make a difference at all. You can leave this at 311 and get tons of use out of this set. People have beaten the Master Wu event with a Raft Raider set at this level. It's also pretty easy to farm and very accessible early on, so you can get this one to 5 stars pretty quickly, and you don't even need to be at 5 stars, I believe, to get this this first ability to tier 3. I believe you only need to have a 2 or 3 star set to actually get there. So you really need to invest very few resources to get this set to a very usable level, and I would say that this is a fantastic alternative to the Raft Raiders, or my bad, to the Forbidden Island set. If you don't have that one yet, you can use the Raft Raiders to still make your pirates quite effective. Then we have the Castle faction. This is an interesting one because all three sets here are actually quite good. Let's start by talking about the Guarded Inn. This right here is the most versatile set in the entire game. and it will work with almost any character. Specifically because of this third ability right here, which will give characters payback at the end of their turn regardless of their tag, and it will also give them attack up 2 whenever they gain defense up 1 or 2. It does just say 1 here, but that also applies to defense up 2. So pair this with a character like Hiker, and you'll be giving attack up 2 to a lot of your units. So this set can actually be quite good early on as maybe your first set, or maybe even a set that you use for the first couple months that you're playing LEGO Legacy, because it is so versatile. If you have a weird assortment of characters in your team, like Lloyd and Verda and a bunch of characters that don't maybe have similar tags, this can be a great option for a set. And honestly, it's super good with a high tier, or I guess a top tier castle team as well. Some people have even been using this set with the Basil and Willa combo to some pretty good success. So if you're looking for a really solid set early on to just work well with your team, even if you decide to swap out some characters here or there, this is going to be a great choice. And this is one that I do recommend taking to 5 stars for the Officer Primo event, and also because it is going to be a solid plug-and-play set. Speaking of Basil and Willa though, the Trader Transport is really the set you want to use with those characters. These will give them some really fantastic bonuses, like a chance to inflict disarmed every time Basil dies, as well as a bunch of synergy with the Fright Night tag, which is what those characters are. Also some really good spooky synergy, as well as some really nice stat boosts right here. So if you are one of the very few who happens to have Basil and Willa, this is going to be the set to use. Other than that, it's a pretty useless set. You definitely want to go for the Guarded in place of that one. And then the last castle set is Magisto's Tower. I currently have this one at 2 stars. And this is going to be a really nice set once you can unlock this 4th ability. So you will need a 4-star set, which is going to take quite some time, and you're also going to need to upgrade this ability, so you're probably going to need a 5-star set, and you're going to need quite a few set tools, probably some tier 3s to get these abilities maxed, but eventually down the line, when we can, these abilities are going to make existing castle teams very difficult to defeat. Basically, it'll make them take no damage from an attack that would have defeated them, and then it'll give them hardy, which means if you attack them again, they won't die, and then when they loses it, if they have enchantment, they'll gain stealth, which then means you can't attack them again. So it'll just basically be very difficult to actually kill units with this set, and they also do get some attack boosts as well with some of these earlier abilities. So right now, it's not the greatest set, but I would say maybe 5 months down the line, you're going to see this come up quite often, and this is going to be a very effective set for defensive teams. After that, we have the City faction. This one is completely hit or miss. The Arctic Ice Glider, for example, is one of the best sets in the game, whereas like the Lego house is one of the worst. So let's start by talking about the best, the Arctic Ice Glider. This is probably one of the top 3 sets in the entire game. If you pair this thing with Aurora, she's going to be reviving every single time a character dies. She's going to gain tons of pep, she's going to gain speed up. She's just basically going to take that next turn immediately, bring back whatever character died, and this is a really powerful tool to use in PvE content, and also occasionally in PvP. So if you're looking for a really effective way to beat those later tiers of the PvE content and do a lot better in Brickspedition, this is the set you want to start farming. At least to 4 stars to at least unlock this ability. You don't really even need to upgrade these abilities. I have a little bit. I have mine at 1323. But you could honestly leave this at 1111 at just 4 stars and get tons of use out of it, and it'll basically make medkits completely useless, and you can just bring back your units. And then if you happen to lose the battle, or I guess if you happen to lose Aurora, you can just retreat from the battle and try it again until you don't lose her, and you can just bring all your units back at full health in preparation for the next battle in Brickspedition. So this is a really great set. If you're not already, you should be farming it or at least working towards it. Try to get it to 4 stars at a minimum. You don't really even need to upgrade the abilities. Again, this is a pretty low barrier to entry, similar to the Raft Raider set, where you don't need too many upgrades to make this thing useful. The Lego house, on the other hand, is one of the worst sets in the entire game. It has a couple interesting synergies with collectible units, but the current collectible lineup is pretty bad. There are a couple good characters like Hiker, Highwayman, and Yuppie, but other than that, they're all pretty terrible. So there's really not much use you can get out of this set, and I can't really think of any situations where you might want to use this set instead of a different one. Actually, I could very likely see this set being reworked in the future, because currently you can't even get tiles for this set anywhere in the entire game. You could just get it to 3.5 stars from the launch event, the global launch event, but not any higher. So currently one of the worst sets in the game. Don't use this one for arena. There are much better alternatives. The fire station is an interesting one. Similar to the Eldorado Fortress and Magisto's Tower, this one is going to be a very slow farm, and it's going to take quite some time before we start really seeing 4 5-star sets for this one right here. Now, this one is currently almost completely useless because the city characters, again, are not great. They are usable, but not top tier by any means. This one does have some really nice curd synergy, and I think eventually this set is going to be quite powerful, but currently it's not worth investing in, and it's going to take quite a few city reworks and a couple new city characters for this thing to really shine, but it does have potential. And then finally we have the Lighthouse Point set. This one is also pretty much useless. It does have this ability right here, which is really the only interesting one, which basically will give a nice heal at the end of a role model character's turn. So like Poppy, Primo, Firefighter Ash, now Winston. So that might be useful in some kind of team, but overall, you would almost always want to use the Arctic Ice Glider instead of this set. But again, because it is so useless, it might actually get reworked in the future. And also, this one does share a node with Tier 2 set tools, so you will probably get this set to 5 stars whether you want to or not. Then we have the Space Faction. This is a really interesting one. Currently, the Galaxy Explorer is definitely the best set of the 3. However, it has been confirmed that the next update is going to revolve around space, and I think it is very likely that either the Spy Track and the Ice Station might get reworked, or we could get access to the 2 Blacktron sets you see right here in the top right-hand corner that are currently not accessible, and maybe even the set in the top left here. So we may be getting some new space sets that could be better than the ones we have right now, but currently the Galaxy Explorer is the best. There are some nice synergies here with some pep gain, some speed gain specifically, and also some buff removal. So a couple interesting abilities here. It's not nearly as good as some of the other sets, and also the current space lineup is not amazing, but it is a usable set. The Spy Track is a funny one. This used to be the best set in the entire game. It used to give speed up to, I believe it was speed up to, for like 3 turns at the start of the battle, which was absolutely broken, but they did remove that from this set, so it's no longer as powerful. It's still decent, not completely useless. It does have some nice anti-stealth synergy, but that's not going to be very effective, even if you pair it with a character like Kartovsky, which most players don't have. Again, it's some very rare mechanics that won't trigger too often, and you'll probably just want to use a different set. Maybe even the Guarded Inn would be pretty effective. And then the Ice Station Odyssey is the worst of the 3. It does have some really interesting chill synergy. I personally would love to have a full chill team work in arena. I almost have the full team of 5 at 7 stars. I'm just missing Commander Cold right now, and Aurora. My Aurora and Cold are almost to 7 stars, and then I'll have a 7-star chill team, which I would love to make work. But currently, if you want to use a chill team, you would just use the Ice Glider. There's no reason that you would ever need to use the Ice Station set for a chill team, and that's where most of these synergies are. Like Chill Hero attacks Dizzy, there's all these bonuses, and the bonus right here to Chill Heroes. So, pretty useless set right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this one is reworked along with the space update. And last but not least, we have the 2 Ninjago sets and the Ghostbuster set. Of course, the best set for the Ghostbusters is the only Ghostbuster set we have. And for Ninjago, between the two, I'd say they are pretty evenly matched based off of what I've heard. Now, I personally don't have any tiles for the dojo, and I haven't really used my Cyber Dragon very much since it is only 2 stars. But from what I've heard from other players that do have these sets a little bit higher, it sounds like they're relatively evenly matched and both pretty powerful. Unfortunately, both of these sets are going to be quite slow farms. The dojo, I believe, will be a little bit faster than Jay's Cyber Dragon, so if you want to get a Ninjago set pretty quickly, maybe go for this one, since the Cyber Dragon will take quite some time to get to a usable level. I do wish that we had a third Ninjago set that was a little bit new player friendly, and maybe sort of like a Raft Raiders type set, where it was farmable early on, maybe not quite as powerful as the higher up sets, but still pretty effective. But yeah, I do think that these two sets are pretty evenly matched. I do think that the Cyber Dragon will have more use in raids, but that's really the only thing that I can't think of. So there we go, that is my ranking for all of the currently unlockable sets in LEGO Legacy as of July 2020. It's very likely that we'll see a few more added soon, perhaps even some reworks with the current space sets. We will have to see. Hopefully this video helped you out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.